Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do a very easy stitch, 2 rows repeat. I'm gonna use 3.5mm crochet hook. With this stitch we're gonna chain odd numbers. I have 15 chains here. We're gonna skip the first chain from the hook, and into the second chain we're gonna do a single crochet, and this row is gonna be single crochet in each chain. So single crochet in each chain. Well, with this stitch you're gonna have to keep in mind that this stitch will eat a lot of yarn. Well, enough that if you are to make a big project, make sure that you have enough yarn to finish. And if you have yarn that you maybe don't want to have anymore, or you don't like it, you can work something with this stitch and then give it away as a gift. So the last chain, single crochet, we're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and now into the first stitch we're gonna do 2 double crochet together, chain 1. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next we're gonna do 2 double crochet together into that same stitch, chain 1, and this row is gonna be done like this. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together. If I move too fast, you have the option to slow down the speed of the video, so you will see what I'm doing. Skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together. With this you can work with variegated yarn, you can change colors, you choose what yarn you're going to use. So skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together, chain 1. So skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together, and you're gonna be left with 1 stitch at the end. We're not gonna chain anything now. We're gonna go to the last stitch in there, and we're gonna do only 1 double crochet, chain 2, turn your work, and now we're gonna go on the bottom here. We're gonna start pulling up loops right here close to the first double crochet in there, the cluster. You're gonna pull up a loop, then you're gonna go behind this 2 double crochet like doing a front post, but without finishing the front post. You're gonna just pull up a loop, and then we're gonna go yarn over the hook. We're gonna go below where we have that stitch that we skipped, yeah, right there, you see, and you're gonna pull up a loop. Now yarn over, you're gonna pull the yarn through all the loops, not the last one. Yeah. Yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1, and we're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked through, which is on the bottom here. So we're gonna go in there, we're gonna pull up a loop, we're gonna go around these 2 double crochet, I'm gonna pull up a loop, and we're gonna go back to the next, forward to the next space where we have this stitch that we skipped. So we're gonna pick up that stitch, and we're gonna pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all these loops, not the last one, then yarn over and pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. So again we're gonna go back to the last stitch on the bottom that we worked through. I'm gonna pull up a loop, and you're gonna go behind this 2 double crochet together. I'm gonna pull up a loop, and then you're gonna move to the next stitch on the bottom that we skipped, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all those loops, pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. And again I'm gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked through, gonna go behind those 2 double crochet, and then the next stitch that we skipped from the previous row, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, last 2, chain 1. I'm gonna repeat like this. And now the last stitch of the row that we skipped, we're gonna go in there. I'm gonna pull up a loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through all these loops. Now the last one, pull the yarn to the last 2, chain 1. And now at the end here, so we're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked through. The last 2 double crochet we're gonna do and make a front post without finishing, and then we have a space between the chain and these 2. So we're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, we're gonna go behind these 2 double crochets around those 2, pull up a loop, and then the space between the chain and the last 2 double crochet together, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, not the last one, pull the yarn to the last 2, yarn over the hook. We're now gonna chain 1, we're just gonna go to the top chain in there, and we're gonna do a double crochet. Now chain 2, and now from this moment forward we're gonna repeat these rows. Yeah, so the first stitch is here. We're not gonna go through. If you want to go through the stitch on top of this whatever we did here, you can go through that, but I'm gonna go underneath the stitch. It's like an eye there, so I'm gonna go underneath the stitch, and in here we're gonna do 2 double crochet together. We repeat the first row. Now pull the yarn through these 3 loops, chain 1, move to the next. The stitch is right on top. I'm gonna go underneath that. You see, and 2 double crochet together, chain 1, move to the next, and we're gonna do the same. If, like I said, if you want to go through the stitch on top, do that, it's no problem. Chain 1, I'm gonna move to the next, and I'm gonna go underneath the stitch, 2 double crochet together in there, pull the yarn through 3 loops, chain 1, move to the next, and I'm gonna repeat 2 double crochet together. The stitch is right there on top, but I'm gonna go underneath the stitch. So now here at the end we have here the chain 2 and the last cluster that we did. So like I said, if you want to, the stitch is right here. If you want to go through that stitch, you go through the stitch. I'm gonna go underneath, and we're gonna do 2 double crochets together in there. We're not gonna chain anything, and we're gonna go on top of the chain 2 in there, and we're gonna do a double crochet, chain 2, and now you're gonna repeat the second row in which we pull a lot of loops in there. So yarn over the hook, we're gonna go between this double crochet in there, and I'm gonna pull up a loop, if you can see. Then we're gonna go around these 2 double crochets together and pull up a loop, and now we're gonna go underneath this. Yeah, I hope you can see. Underneath that we're gonna go in here, and then pull the yarn through all these loops, last 2, chain 1. We're gonna go back to the last space that we worked through, pick up a loop around this, 2 double crochet together, pull up a loop, then we're gonna go underneath there. chain 1. So again, I'm gonna go back to the last space that we worked around those 2 double crochet together, and then the next space, pull the yarn through all the loops, last 2, chain 1. So we're gonna go back to where we worked before, around those 2 double crochet together, pull up a loop, and then the next space in underneath there, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, not the last one, then last 2, chain 1. And this is the stitch. It's a very easy stitch, goes really fast and builds up really fast, but it's gonna eat a lot of yarn. So we're gonna go around those 2 double crochet together, and the last space of the row gonna go underneath below, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, last 2, chain 1. So now, like I said from the previous row, we have the chain here and the 2 double crochet. So we're gonna go back to the last space that we worked in there, pull up a loop, you're gonna go around this 2 double crochet, yeah, you still have the chain there at the end, pull up a loop, and then the space between the chain and those 2 double crochet together, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, last 2, chain 1. Oh no, not chain 1, we finished the row, so we're not going to chain anything. We're going to go on top of the second chain in there, and we're going to do a double crochet. You're going to chain 2, turn your work, and now you're going to repeat. You're going to do, like I said, if you like to go through the stitch, you go through the stitch. I just go underneath there. So you're going to do 2 double crochet together in each, yeah? And in here at the end you have the stitch right there if you choose to go through the stitch, but I choose to go underneath that, underneath the stitch. And then the chain 2, it's here, you're going to do a double crochet at the end. Yeah, it's a very easy stitch, it's quite simple if you like. And you know, when you do this, when you have the row with the 2 double crochet together, and when you do the next row pulling up loops, these 2 double crochet together will pop up, you know, they're like, I don't know, you see, they're popping up. Well, the stitch is not reversible. This is the one side and this is the other side. For an infinity scarf, for a blanket, for a shawl, I don't know, I think it's nice. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day.